First, though, an Orlando commissioner charged with exploiting a 96-year-old woman. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Matt has the night off. Commissioner Regina Hill is out of jail on bond tonight. FDLE investigators say she spent more than $100,000 of the victim's money. If convicted on all charges, Hill could be sentenced to 180 years in prison. It is up to the governor to decide if he wants to remove her from office. If that happens, there will be a special election to fill her District 5 seat.
Your name, ma'am?
Regina Hill.
Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill started her day in a blue jail jumpsuit.
You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim in the case or any witnesses in the case.
A grand jury indicted her on 7 charges that include 2 counts of exploiting the elderly, fraudulent use of someone else's personal information, and mortgage fraud.
Mrs. Hill effectively betrayed the trust of her community by taking advantage of a 96-year-old elderly citizen, which is one of the most vulnerable in that community.
FDLE investigators say Hill committed fraud when she took out a mortgage on this home in Lake Man Estates, using the identity of the 96-year-old woman as her co-signer. The elderly woman is one of Hill's constituents.
Hill repeatedly used the victim's finances to purchase rental cars, hotel stays, personal luxury items such as expensive bottles of perfume from high-end retailers, clothing, and paying her own personal bills.
Hill represents District 5 in Orlando, highlighted on this city map in pink. That's Paramore, Lake Man Estates, the Mercy Drive area, and parts of Metro West. Some there are sympathetic.
My heart just goes out to her.
Hill is popular in her district. She easily won re-election last fall.
I was deeply saddened that Commissioner Hill was arrested. Whether innocent or guilty, I believe that Commissioner Hill has done a lot for the city of Orlando.
Tonight, the allegations against Hill hitting too close to home for some people taking care of elderly loved ones. News 6's Treasure Roberts spoke to an attorney about how to protect them from scams.
Raymond Trinley, partner at TK Law, explains what it means to be power of attorney.
When you sign a power of attorney, you're allowing a third party to act as your agent. But that person as your agent has what's called a fiduciary obligation.
That obligation requires you to make sure you put the needs of the person you're protecting first.
When you're paying for plastic surgery, buying a house that you're living in and you're residing, and they're not making the best use of those funds, you are violating that fiduciary duty.
Florida Department of Law Enforcement is accusing Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill of doing just that, using more than $100,000 from a 96-year-old woman. Could this woman get her money back?
It is always a case-by-case basis, and unfortunately, if the money's all gone, there may not be a lot that they can do. I absolutely feel bad for people that are put in this position.
Trinley says Florida law has protections for elderly abuse victims that allow state and civil attorneys to ask for speedy trials.
Because unfortunately, one of the concerns we have when we're dealing with the elderly is, they may not be able to withstand a 5-year or 10-year legal battle.
A judge ordered a temporary injunction that denies Hill access to the victim's accounts, revoked the power of attorney, and prevents her from contacting the elderly woman. Before allowing someone to act as your power of attorney, you want to make sure it's someone you can trust. Attorney Trinley also says ask for regular accounting so you can monitor where transactions were made and for what purpose. If there is an argument that Commissioner Hill could come up with, what would that be?
Ms. Hill's best defense is going to be somehow establishing a paper trail showing that she was properly communicating with the victim, notifying her of what the charges were, and obviously if there's anything in writing that can show that she was given permission to use these funds for her own personal use. I understand that Ms. Hill is planning on fighting these charges and these allegations, and obviously she's innocent until proven guilty, but we'll find out hopefully relatively soon what happened here.
In Orlando, Treasure Roberts, Getting Results, News 6.
If you suspect an elderly or disabled person is being abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Florida Adult Abuse Hotline. The number is right there on your screen. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.